Does Monday at the office feel like a storm? Not with Microsoft Copilot. That feeling when Copilot gets everyone up to speed instantly? It's sunny again. When Copilot simplifies complex data so your teams can act, that sun's shining on a beach. And when Copilot uncovers hidden insights, you're on that beach with your people, and you find buried treasure. That's Microsoft Copilot. Learn more at Microsoft.com/AI for all.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
So 16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
This is Eric.
I'm Sean. What's up, y'all?
And this is Jorge.
Presidente. El jefe.
We are back for another episode of the Conspiracy Podcast, where we take the most famous conspiracies and we analyze them. We have research assistants. We high-end guests and investigative reporting.
Yeah, it's just us.
Yeah,
it's just us. It's just 3 dudes.
But you guys love us.
3 high school diplomas.
I know, but maybe we provide a grounded
outlet.
Yeah, working man.
Yeah, right? Like the fucking average.
Working man.
The average Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
So today, we have Stonehenge.
Stonehenge. I've been waiting for this for so long.
I know, and I've seen it from afar. Like, because you've
been there, right?
Well, you can't actually go.
This is a funny story. Actually.
No, you can't actually go to. You can't like go and like touch the rocks.
No way, really?
No, you can't.
Oh.
You can't.
So it's protected, and we'll get into this. It's actually like it's a protected area for in like the English government. It's a historical thing, and they don't want people, because you let any Tom, Dick, or Harry fucking go touch it, they're gonna like Sharpie on it, or like they're gonna like go like etch their names like Tim loves Tanisha.
You know Banksy's gonna be there.
Oh, of course, literally.
Yeah,
it's a thing that you can get close-ish, but like so when we went, pretty much our driver was like, so yeah, we're gonna have to wait like an hour in line, and then like you're gonna like be able to take some pictures from afar. I'm like, we can't go
drive through.
I'm like, I can't go touch it. And he's like, no. I'm like, well, let's just take some long distance pics, and then we're gonna fucking be good. I'm a 100x zoom it.
Thankfully you got that Samsung.
100x zoom this shit, and
way
we're
better than
Gucci.
this iPhone.
Well, I mean, tit for tat.
No,
it is better. Let's be honest, it's better.
No, I mean,
Camera.
it's not.
The camera
That's
is
it.
better.
That's it.
That's it.
We're not talking about feasibility or usability. It's
You don't think the camera's better?
it is better.
Camera's better, sure.
That's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Eric? Where are you?
He doesn't want to give up an inch.
I know, nothing. Anyways.
Does tourism bug you? Like, it kind of upsets me. Because I heard, for example, I really want to go to Machu Picchu.
Oh, dude.
You heard of Machu Picchu?
My uncle went.
In
would love to
Peru.
go.
It's in Peru, right? And I've heard it's just so bombarded with tourism that it kind of ruins the experience.
No, but that's how they make money. You know what I'm saying? Like tourism equals income, so it's like they're fine with it because especially with a country that has in essence low GDP. You need the money.
Yeah,
it's not like Peru's shitting fucking gold bricks out. Like they need the cash.
They survive on
have you ever
tourism.
seen the photos or videos of the pyramids? but it's from.
Oh my God,
Like, I
yeah,
saw
dude,
one
I
where it was
have
like a
seen
dude
it.
having
And
Domino's
it's like
pizza.
Taco Bell.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's like-
yeah.
like-
It's just so much tourism.
no,
And it
because
just kind of.
Oh yeah, that ruins
just
it.
kind of ruins it. I don't know.
But it's like it's just the thing. It's like it fuels the actual economy because it's not just
know.
like this. It's like
I
people
know.
are buying hotels, they're eating the food, they're going to the restaurants. It's actually fueling the economy of that area.
I know, but it's like one of those things. You got to hike up there for I don't even know how long it takes.
You got to take one of those super suspect buses. Where it's like super tiny, and the guy's like, "Don't worry." It's like his tires are off the cliff. You know that's happening.
And it's like a 4-cylinder. And like, how is this driving?
Yes,
What the fuck?
I love Americans.
It's like one of those videos that it's like Instagram versus reality. Like, you see that?
Literally, that's exactly what's happening. So the first things first. I mean, in just as an aside, this episode is a lot of. It's more or less a history lesson.
Great.
Okay.
So
I love it.
you know,
Yeah, I love it.
we're not gonna. This isn't. You know, just
Yeah.
fucking bear with me.
Yeah.
So, what is Stonehenge? You know, obviously, most people know. 99.9% of humans know, but as we do on the Conspiracy Podcast, we'll give you the lesson.
We're gonna dive in.
So, Stonehenge is a prehistoric megalithic structure. So, just so you know, a megalithic structure is a large stone that has been used to construct a prehistoric structure or monument, either alone or together with other stones. That's what megalithic means.
Okay.
In terms of megalithic structure.
Like the pyramids.
Yeah.
That qualifies.
Stone, yeah, that does qualify. 100% qualifies.
So, but if I went out and got a box of rocks and I like placed it in a circle,
In 2000 years, that would be a megalithic structure. Yeah, like 100%.
I guess we got to use the word
No,
mega.
no, it has.
It's got to be mega.
No, it has to be a large stone.
Yeah.
A large.
Yeah,
It has to be
okay.
a
Yeah, mega.
large stone. Something that's like not like a
Mega.
like a pebble. Yeah.
Yeah, mega.
So this is on Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, England, which is 2 miles west of Amesbury.
Okay.
So that's where it's located. So it consists of an outer ring of vertical sarsen. Sarsen is a type of sandstone block that's found around southern England.
Okay.
And there's sarsen standing stones. Each of them are around 13 feet high, 7 feet wide, and weighing around 25 tons each. So
What?
they're also topped with connecting horizontal lintel stones. And a lintel stone is like a beam that spans an opening, like a door.
Okay.
So they call it a lintel stone. So for example, like a window. So a window has a lintel, which is it's wood, it's not a stone, but the bottom is called a sill. So that's what's called a window sill.
Whoa.
Okay. So that's what a lintel and a
like
sill
it.
are
Yeah.
the two.
Learn some new
Yeah.
shit here.
Holy shazamana.
Wow, history, bitch! I told you.
I like it.
Welcome to Conspiracy Podcast.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
You're gonna learn today. So inside is a ring of smaller blue stones. So inside these are freestanding trilithons. So a trilithon is literally just which is 3.
Yeah.
So imagine if you've seen pictures of Stonehenge, it's like 2 pillars and then a thing on the top.
Yeah.
So that's what's called a trilithon. So it's just 3,
Okay.
2 pillars and a thing on the top.
Now, when you say inside, you're talking about inside the stone or inside
the circle.
Inside the circle. Inside the
Okay.
circle. Yeah. So inside there's freestanding trilithons, and they're made up of 2 bulkier vertical sarsen stones, which we just talked about, joined by a lintel. So it's just 3. That's all you need to think about.
Fuck, they're huge.
Yeah. So the whole
How
monument
many
is
tons was it?
25.
around 25 tons each. Yeah, it's big.
How much does the average car weigh?
2?
2 tons.
Okay.
Maybe. No. Average car,
Or
average,
truck?
Average car is about a ton-ish.
Okay.
Average truck, 1.5 tons.
What about my Tacoma?
Tacoma, your
400 pounds?
That's like, yeah.
exactly.
That's that city boy
Your
truck.
Tundra,
Yeah,
yeah.
city boy.
Your Tundra is like 2 tons.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably close.
1 to 2.
Yeah,
Me,
close.
me and Sean got a Tundra.
Well, obviously, we're
Real truck.
professionals. Yeah, we're real conspiratorial.
Okay, I got the truck because I like to fit shit in the back, but I don't want to be having the truck.
You should want the truck. You should want it. That's what's wrong with you.
You should just rent the Home Depot
Home
1999 truck.
Home Depot, Ford F-150. Fuck it. So the whole monument is aligned towards the sunrise on the summer solstice,
Okay.
and then the sunset on the winter solstice. So it's actually aligned towards astrological type shit. So the stones are
But
set.
how is it aligned? Like
No, so
I'm just
no. So during
just
during the summer solstice, it's actually the way it's because And we have pictures, and so you'll see. So it's actually, there's an opening. So it's almost like that's like the entrance or with the exit or whatever the fuck.
And the sun will be placed
yes, it will be placed.
spot.
Yeah, like during the summer solstice, it'll be the sunrise will come up through that area. And then during the winter solstice, the sunset will set through that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's obviously...
Yes.
Obviously aliens.
Obviously having to do with...
No, it's obviously aliens.
the seasons.
Seasons,
having the seasons.
astrology,
Just fucking with you.
celestial bodies. Like they were all like, I feel like everyone was kind of in tune to that back in the day. Like, that was like, everyone was like, this shit means something. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like the sun, life.
Yeah.
You know, like shit is happening.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think summer is around June. Summer solstice.
Well, I don't know when
winter is December.
I don't know where the
January.
solstices are.
Yeah.
I should probably look that up.
No, yeah, the winter is definitely
that makes sense.
in
Like,
December.
December, yeah. Just it's a rough time period, yeah? Like June.
Yeah.
And then
Roughly,
and then
yeah.
December. Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, the stones are set within earthworks in the middle of the densest complex of Neolithic, which all Neolithic means it's between 4,500 and 2,500 BC.
Okay.
That's like the period of time.
Yeah.
And Bronze Age, which is 2,500 to 800 BC, monuments in England. So it means like it's these where it is, it's like the densest kind of population of these type of structures in England.
So there's a lot of them.
There's quite a few.
Yeah. Okay.
So these also include several hundred tumuli. So a tumuli is a mound of earth and stones raised over a grave or graves. So it's also known as a burial mound.
These are mounds.
Yeah, it's
essentially
like a
mounds.
burial mound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually set. It includes several hundred of these burial mounds like around this area.
Okay.
So the first known excavation of Stonehenge was undertaken in the 1620s by the Duke of Buckingham.
Goddamn, 1620. That's 400 years ago.
Dude, I know. Like fucking
this
America
is-
was like a fucking. The Indians were like, we run this shit.
Goddamn.
This is our land, Buffalo.
Okay.
So this was prompted by a visit by King James I. So the king, he like commissioned this architect named Inigo Jones to conduct a survey and study the monument. And they were like, hey, check this shit out. And he argued that Stonehenge was built by the Romans. He was like, this is the Romans. They built this shit. So then later in time, there was an antiquary named John Aubrey.
What's
and just so you know,
antiquary?
an
Yeah,
antiquary is a person who collects, deals in, or studies antiques, ancient works of art, or ancient times.
I feel like I've heard this in the antiquary of is that how you say it?
Antiquary, yeah,
Antiquary of Egyptian
Yeah, exactly.
is like super high.
Yeah,
because,
no, it's like
because that's
it's like
what Egypt's all
it's
about.
like a post in the government. Yeah,
Yeah,
like they're actually
okay.
a government like
Yeah.
entity.
We don't really have that in the U.S. because there's
No,
nothing.
it's not that old.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're also called an antiquarian. Antiquarian. I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So this guy John Aubrey, he surveyed Stonehenge in the late 17th century.
Okay.
And he was the first to record the ring of pits that were later named after him, called Aubrey holes. So his study, he studied the stone circles in other parts of Britain, and it led him to conclude that they were built by the native inhabitants rather than the Romans. Well, the Romans or the Danes. So in essence, the people who took over that area later in time. And so he pretty much was like, the Druids were the only like prehistoric British priests mentioned in classical text. So he was like, Stonehenge was made by the Druids.
Okay.
As opposed to the Romans or the Danish people.
Okay.
So it's been excavated numerous times since then, but those are the two kind of like main excavations. So to speak.
Gotcha.
So closer to present day, there's a guy named Mike Parker Pearson. He was the leader of what's called the Stonehenge Riverside Project that was based around Durrington Walls. So he noted that Stonehenge appeared to be associated with burial, from its earliest parts of existence. So this is a quote from him. Stonehenge was a place of burial from its beginning to its zenith in the mid-3rd millennium BC. The cremation burial dating to Stonehenge's Sarsen stones phase is likely just one of many from this later period of the monument's use and demonstrates that it was still very much a domain of the dead. So this guy is like, hey, it's like a burial site.
Yeah.
That's where they put the dead bodies.
Yeah.
So then in 2013, a team of archaeologists led by Mike Parker Pearson, who I just discussed, excavated more than 50,000 cremated bone fragments from 63 individuals buried at Stonehenge. The fact that how the fuck they know it was from 63 people. How the fuck do you know that? There's not many people, trust me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Well, I mean, I bet if they found 63 left pinky fingers, they'd be like,
They're
there's
like,
63
okay.
of them.
That's You know what? Eric is on the case.
Yeah.
Eric is far smarter than I give him credit for.
I mean, I excavate bodies all the time.
CSI is calling.
Cremated bone fragments. So these remains were originally buried individually in the Aubrey holes, which we just discussed, named after John Aubrey. And they were exhumed during a previous excavation that was conducted by a guy named William Hawley in 1920. But at the time, he was like, yeah, they're not important. So they just dumped it all in like one hole. They literally they picked up these remains and they were like, nah, fuck it. So they just like literally dumped it all in one of the holes, and they didn't give a shit. So then, and there was actually an Aubrey Hole 7. They have a name. Aubrey Hole 7 was the one that they
So
dumped
each
it all
hole
in.
is named after somebody. That's crazy.
No, it's all Aubrey holes.
Oh, they're all Aubrey holes.
But they just numbered
I
them.
see.
They numbered the
I
holes.
get it,
Because there's a shitload. I actually have pictures. There's a shitload of them. So then physical and chemical analysis of the remains shown that the cremated were almost equally men and women. And they included some children.
So this is out of 63 people, right? Or 60, whatever.
Yeah, 63.
people.
Equally men and women. And some were children.
Okay.
And then there was evidence underlying. So there's like chalk beneath these graves. You know, it's like earth. You know, it's how shit works. So, you know, being crushed by the weight of stone and shit.
25 tons.
They concluded that the first bluestones were brought from Wales and were probably used as like gravestones.
Okay.
Like grave markers. They would be like, okay, this is where we're going to bury this person. So they're just estimating that. So then radiocarbon dating of the remains put the date of the site 500 years earlier than they previously thought to around 3000 BC.
Shit.
So that's fucking over 5,000 years ago. Like fucking long as shit. So then a 2018 study of the strontium content of the bones found that many of the individuals buried there around the time of construction had probably come from near the source of where the bluestones were in Wales. So they got the bluestones from, there's a quarry in Wales where they were getting these bluestones from.
So they figured out where the stone, like what the makeup of the stone is, and then they matched it to
where it would come
I see.
from.
I get it.
And so they're saying that most, like,
it's where it's
most of these people probably came from around that area and not actually around Stonehenge. Like they didn't actually live.
And how far away is that area?
I have it. We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's actually a couple quarries where these sarsen stones and these bluestones came from. I believe the one in Wales is like 16 miles.
Okay.
I believe, but
That's not that far. I thought you were going to say like 500 miles or
I
something.
mean, on a
which-
horse and a buggy, it's pretty far.
well,
Right, but
carrying a 25-ton stone 16 miles like, on like
far.
hilly fucking England, bro. like
Pretty far.
yeah,
I tried to run a mile the other day, and it was fucking far.
it's like, dude, I walked up like 3 flights of stairs, and I was like, fuck this. This is done.
You made it only like quarter mile?
No, I made the mile. But I'm not going to tell you the mile time period.
18-minute mile.
Sounds like my mile.
So one of the most famous landmarks in England is Stonehenge. So Stonehenge is regarded as a British cultural icon. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Totally.
So
This is the 100%. This, I mean, isn't it considered a wonder of the world almost? Not quite
it's
like
not one of them, but it's
not.
It's a thing. No,
But I mean, okay, aliens come down. Hear me out.
check me out.
It's a wonder of
Alien-
mine.
On number 2,
a wonder for me.
This is the number 2 landing.
Hear me out. Hear me out. So the emissary alien comes, like he's like the guy.
Is this like Dune?
So he comes down and he comes to Jorge and he says, "Jorge, what are the things that humans have done?"
Put rocks together. Stonehenge,
And
bitch.
so, what are the things that you tell that alien? What are the things?
What time period are we talking about?
No, today.
If an alien comes to you right now.
Oh.
Emissary.
Tell me really quickly. Like, tell me the history of
Humans?
Humans
have-
what have humans done?
Kill each other.
Yeah, kill each
That's
other. I
pretty
don't know.
much
No,
it.
the great
fucking-
achievements. The great
fucking-
achievement. You would say the pyramids.
No, I would not.
Because it wasn't humans.
You would say
Now we're
you would
talking,
say,
baby.
Some skyscrapers.
No, you would say like
Some
you'd say
Dubai. Look
the
at
Eiffel
Dubai.
Tower.
He's like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
You'd say-
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
No, you would say
Done.
the pyramids. You would say the Eiffel Tower. You would say what else would you say? You would say the transatlantic railroads. I don't know the
Airplanes.
You would say all these things. And would you throw in?
I would definitely not say pyramids.
You would, but would you
Or
throw in
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge?
I would not.
I wouldn't be because it's just a fucking.
It's a wonder of the world.
It's a bunch of rocks. I don't know. I wouldn't be like telling aliens, check it out.
I know, like
we stacked some fucking rocks. They'd be like, cool, we're dipping now.
I see.
Thanks.
Maybe I'll have. Maybe I see what side you guys are on. I see what side.
They'd be
I'm
like,
just
these
saying-
guys are so far behind. We're out of here.
I'm saying it is amazing from my point of view. It's amazing, but like
25 tons.
what I tell an alien, look at what we did, because he'd go over there and be like, sweet, you guys made Legos, and like
I would
big,
definitely not.
big
You
Lego.
would?
Yeah, probably.
You would include Stonehenge.
I would list them out. I say Machu.
You wouldn't.
Okay, what's your list? What's your list?
I'd say the pyramids in Mexico. I'd say Machu Picchu. I'd say New York City, Hong Kong.
Basically, every pyramid. I would
Dubai,
say Mexico pyramids, Egyptian pyramids,
yeah.
Machu
Like-
Picchu.
He's like, have you seen a
I'd say-
Bugatti, my man? V12.
I'd say I would show him like an entire navy. You know, the American Navy. That's kind of a feat.
They literally travel here from a different planet, and you're like,
and
look at this
I would
shit
say-
that floats on water.
I would
And it's
also
like,
say-
we
I would
travel
say-
through space.
I
What
would
the
say
fuck
also our ancient our ancestors did the Great Wall of China, Stonehenge, pyramids. etc.
They'd be like, all right, peace out.
that shit just kill Eric. You never met us. Bye.
Do you guys have another representative?
They're like, representative. They're like, we saw your video with the egg, and like, not impressed.
All right. Anyways, I digress. I digress.
That was a perfect egg, by the way. That was a fucking perfect egg. Looked like that yolk was about to like splash on those tater tots, bro. I was interested. I was fucking super into it.
You wanted to see me eat.
I
it,
was
didn't you?
hungry, and I was watching it. It was like 2 a.m. I was like, fuck.
If you guys are a little bit lost, go check out our Instagram.
Yeah, go to the IG. Oh, you'll never know. So, anyways, so Stonehenge has been legally protected as as what they call a scheduled monument since
Yeah, like a wonder of the
1882.
world. Yeah, wonder of the world.
Okay.
Protected.
So the site and its surroundings were added to UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites in 1986.
Heritage, not a wonder, not a wonder of the world.
The World Heritage Society. I mean, how close am I? I literally just said this, and research comes out.
And then, so Stonehenge is wholly owned by the Crown and managed by
course.
English Heritage, and the surrounding land is owned by the National Trust.
This is my
That's
problem.
what I'm saying. You can't
This
go
is-
fucking touch it.
this is
You
my
can't like
problem.
walk
Okay.
up. And,
This
like,
is my
touch it.
problem with white people.
We're not white. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I know.
He's not saying
No,
he
I'm
has a
not
problem
saying
with
you
you.
do.
I
no,
thought
yeah,
he was saying like
yeah,
because
no.
we weren't giving him the credit for the fucking wonder of the world.
No, this is my
No,
problem.
he's about to. He's
This is
about
my-
to. Yeah,
This is
go
my
ahead.
problem. This is my
You
problem.
realize most people are white.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So here's your problem with like most people.
I get that. But like, literally, they have the audacity to say they own Stonehenge.
Oh, that's funny. That is hilarious. That's
It
hysterical.
just drives me crazy. It's
That's
like,
actually
it's
funny.
just like we own the land.
I know if you've watched like episode 2 of Shogun,
Yeah.
where there was like the Spanish king and the English king say
Say they
own
own
it.
you.
And he's like,
Yes.
what the fuck do you say?
Yeah, we don't even know what
He's
that
like,
means.
Own us?
Yes.
Motherfucker, he's like
Yes.
super pissed.
I know.
Like he's like, the fuck out of here.
It's just so crazy. It's just I don't know.
And so it's also
I didn't know you were watching that. That's a good show, man.
It's so good.
Well, it's also
I'm,
like-
I'm really onto it.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
into it.
Yeah.
Look at the concept even America, like the concept of eminent domain.
Yeah.
You know, like where it's like, well, technically, we have the rights because we own it.
because we said so.
I mean,
yeah.
it's like you want this highway, don't you?
You know what I'd like to do is a couple episodes that are, there is a thing that when people say the word conspiracy, they kind of tie it to,
It's got to be weird shit.
yeah, and it's
Only.
and it's
Like,
murder and this and that. But actually, we had defined it earlier on in the
It's like
episodes.
it's more
Two
than
or people
two or more
conspiring-
people conspiring to commit
commit
an
a crime.
illegal act or crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to do some episodes where it's out of the norm of like conspiracy, where it's just
Or
where
it's-
we're
it's-
able to
it's
talk
like
about
fucking-
just
what about-
people doing fucked up shit.
Dude, what about Flint, Michigan?
Well, then it would be a conspiracy.
Dude,
I know,
that's the
but I
point,
mean,
that's the
yeah,
point.
that's what. But they're not normal.
It's not like aliens.
not like a
like,
typical-
Yeah.
Yes, it's
typical.
not like JFK.
Yeah.
and,
We
blah,
should
blah.
do Flint, Michigan, bro.
Yeah. Oh, the water
Yes.
supply.
Dude, with the fracking
Oh
and
my
all the bullshit,
gosh,
and like
yeah,
they didn't give it.
that's a conspiracy.
They were
Yes.
making so much money that I didn't give a
Yes.
shit, and they're
Oh
literally we can light our water on fire because natural gas is like
Yeah.
in the water.
Or how America basically made Chinese slave labor to build the railroads, across the United States.
100%.
Similar to the pyramids. Very, very crazy.
Not even close to the pyramids.
Yeah,
No. Dude, they're laying.
It's actually a very similar story.
How is it very similar? Because they're literally laying metal rods in a line.
Yeah, they're
in a
paying
fucking
them.
straight
not
line.
5,000 ton.
You're the one who says they were paid, not us.
No. The Chinese people were paid, but paid.
Well, okay, Eric's whole theory is that the employees built the fucking pyramids.
Paid.
No.
Okay.
But it's a similar scenario because
It's not similar
we built
at all.
a railway across 3,000 miles of
It's a
terrain.
straight line. You build a straight
Do you
line.
know
You're
how
not
hard
building
that
up.
was to do?
It wasn't that hard. It just
not
took a lot of
compa-
time.
Oh,
Yeah, it just took a
was
lot of
so
time.
hard.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine building a railroad across the Sierra Nevadas?
Eric, put the Miller down.
No
more Millers.
Insane.
No more
Anyways.
Millers. Anyways,
Sean digresses.
so we're gonna get into what? How did you just fucking play me like that? So we're gonna get into the creation of Stonehenge. So archaeologists believe that Stonehenge was constructed in several phases. So it wasn't just like a one-time like whammy. You know, it wasn't like the pyramids, one-time deal.
Right. Yeah.
Over 20 years, one time. So that it was from around 3100 BC to around 1600 BC, with the circle of large sarsen stones placed between 2600 BC and 2400 BC.
So 200 years.
They're referencing, like the large sarsen stone thing that we see today was over a 200-year period.
Can you imagine trying to build something that you know that will not be finished by the time you die?
That's crazy.
Well, by the time like your kids die.
Yeah. So say you have this idea.
Well, I don't think they knew. I don't think they were like.
Yeah, I don't think you're like, oh, this is going to take us 200
This
years.
will take us 200 years.
So you think they didn't know?
No, I think they just tried to do it. They're like, all right, fuck it.
So their
next
estimation of timeline effort was wrong?
I don't think they were estimating. They're not like a fucking project manager.
Show up.
No,
They
hear me
just show
out.
up to work every day.
Yeah.
So no.
It wasn't
Say
even
you're
work. There was a doing like for like this is what we want to do.
So say you're the mastermind behind this. You don't finish. You're 80 years old. You're now 80 years old.
Okay.
I'm your son.
Yeah.
I'm your son.
Yeah.
And we're on your deathbed. And you say,
He's like, I
finish it.
Yeah,
finish it.
You 100%
Eric,
think
finish
that
it.
your
No,
son's
but-
going to finish
No,
it.
but he says he's like, I'm DB Cooper.
Totally.
First,
right.
that's what he says.
Let me get that out of the way.
I'm DB Cooper. Finish the fucking shit.
But you're saying, no, because what you're saying is that then they passed it down and they just said, finish it.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's
then
what I think.
you're on the deathbed and you tell your son, finish it.
Yes.
And then
And you think
I
it's
do
gonna
it
be-
for 50 years. And then
you don't
I'm
think-
on
And then you
my
die, and then you
deathbed.
die.
You do what you can. No, that's the worst planning that's ever happened.
No, but the thing is, like, actually, if you look at like average lifespan in that back in the hizzy, dude, it's probably like 4 generations.
That's
probably
a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
probably a lot.
motherfuckers
Yeah.
live till like 30, and they're like, they were like old as fuck, like ancient.
They're like, he's balding. He's gonna die.
They're like,
Yeah, he's done.
this fucker can't hunt. Just
done.
kill him.
Yeah.
Kill him now.
Yeah, I would have been a wise man by this time.
Literally, like the chief elder.
Yeah.
This motherfucker can't have kids anymore. It's old as fuck.
Well,
So the surrounding circular earth bank and ditch, which I said I have pictures. We'll post them on the Patreon.
surrounding circular
Earth
bank and
earth
ditch.
bank and ditch. Here, 1 second. Hold it. Here you can see. So in this is a computer rendering. You can see like the actual ditch that they made.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. So that's. What
And
I'm
if you guys aren't seeing this, it'll be on Patreon, and it does look like the Starship Enterprise.
it weirdly does. It
does.
It's really
Yeah, it
weirdly
does.
does look
Yep.
like Enterprise. So that surrounding earth bank and ditch, which constitutes like the earliest phase of the monument, like that's like the beginning.
Yeah.
That's dated around 3100 BC.
Okay.
And so radiocarbon dating suggests that the blue stones that were given their current positions between 2400 and 2200 BC, although they may have been there as early as 3000 BC. So they don't really know.
What's up
It's
with
just
the
like-
holes?
So those holes,
Yeah.
in which we will get into, those
Okay.
are different things. So some of those holes are the Aubrey holes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So those-
And then they numbered.
Yeah,
like
so
7, 8, 9.
They're numbered
yeah.
Aubrey holes, and then other holes were actually used. They speculate used for like wooden poles. To like, there's a whole fucking dude. It's fucking into it. So phase 1. So the first monument consisted of a circular bank and ditch, which we just talked about, the outer area there, And then that was made of late Cretaceous time frame Seaford chalk. Cretaceous being a period of time. So it measures about 360 feet in diameter, so across, with a large entrance to the northeast, which is here, and then a smaller one to the south. So this is the smaller entrance right there. And then it stood
What'd you say?
It's interesting. So this stood in an open grassland on a slightly sloping spot. So this is an open field, and like this is obviously big entrance, and then little entrance here. And I even see the picture. Well, this is the phase 1. So this is the origination of phase 1. So this is like before there's any stones, they make the big ditch, and then there's opening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before there's any other shit in there. So the builders placed the bones of deer and oxen in the bottom of the ditch. So this little fucking ditch here.
There you go.
As well as like there was
Johnny, grab the deer.
put the fucking body of that corpse in here.
We're short about 6 cattle.
So there was also there was worked flint tools that they found there too. So like the actual tools. So
This is so confusing already. Meaning not the story, but like what
the fuck
why?
they were doing,
Yes.
like why, someone gave them plans.
Like
they're like, just build this
at
random
fir-
ass shit.
At first, the first 10 minutes in,
anyone,
at the first 10 minutes in, I was like, I got it. That makes sense. I know what's going on. And then now all of this, I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't understand. What the fuck were they doing with the animal remains?
Dude, I don't know.
Then the 63 people died
Why
there.
is it? Why
druids,
the
bro.
ditch?
I don't know. I mean, I think that they maybe, dude. I mean, because it's in the ditch was continuous. It had been dug in sections, and this was like ditches that were of earlier causeway enclosures of the area. So maybe they took pisses in it, or runoff water, or
Runoff water is
yeah,
probably right.
it's England, so it's raining all the time.
True.
So maybe it's so they're not sleeping in pools of water. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the chalk that was dug up from this, they used to actually form a bank. So I think it was actual protected area. So because they
it made
a bank.
It made it so it didn't pool.
Yeah. So there was a bank. Yeah. So it wouldn't
Okay, so maybe the ditches are so it didn't pool, so it wouldn't ruin it forever. They really thought this out for hundreds of years.
I mean,
Apparently.
yeah, for thousands. They're fucking on
They
it.
did great, yeah.
Yeah. So the first stage.
So they did plan it out. We're fucking
I know.
Who's the project manager for this project? I'm gonna need an interview.
project manager.
I feel like the timeline's wrong.
Well, no,
I feel like what we talked about is wrong.
well, dude,
I don't buy that.
The first stage was
200 years?
3100 BC.
Yeah.
The first stage 3100 BC when they built this.
But not that.
No, that
Just
was
the outer ring.
just the outer ring with 3100 BC.
Okay.
So this was they began with this. They were like,
I
first
see.
things first. Let's make it so we don't fucking drown.
So maybe my great grandpa Jorge Rodriguez built the original.
It'd be like
And then
great.
Yeah. No, and then later on I was like, oh, I gotta follow in Jorge's footsteps.
Yeah, he's like,
And
let
I
me just-
built this 100 years later. Does that make sense?
Dude, it's so fucking hard to pass a story on from Sean to me to
I
you.
know.
How the hell do they pass on this concept and the blueprint for this
Dude, I
shit
don't fucking
for
know.
hundreds of years?
I mean, maybe they just someone started and then just made it. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe
no,
it
look
started
at it-
as something else, and then
What about-
fucking 100 years later, a couple hundred years later, the great grandchildren, they were like, oh,
I got a better
But,
idea.
Yeah.
but have you been to Chicago? Been to Chicago?
Yeah.
You've been to Chicago. Okay. So if you walk downtown and you do the little whatever, you can see buildings that are built in the 20s and then buildings that were built last year.
Yeah,
okay,
That's 100 years.
that's a good point.
okay. No, but different, so different. Look at the fucking technology.
What are you talking about? It's 100 years.
Eric,
That's
I
exactly what we're talking
I
about.
live in a house that's almost 100 years old.
Really?
That's from the 50s.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, 70 fucking years, bro.
That's true. That's true.
Point made.
Okay, anyways. Jesus Christ. So on the outer edge, which you'll see these little white dots on this thing here.
Yeah.
The outer edge is enclosed of a circle of 56 pits. So each is about 3.5 feet in diameter.
Okay.
And these are the Aubrey holes.
Okay,
So
yeah.
these are where where they put the cremated remains. So these pits and the bank and the ditch together are known as the palisade or the gate ditch.
So obviously this is a ode to something higher than you. right?
Well, see,
it's a graveyard.
Well, it may be because look, like
or a
these,
sacrifice or an offering.
No, so these pits,
Of what? To
these
who?
pits may have contained timbers, creating a timber circle.
A big fire pit.
Although there's no excavated, evidence of that because obviously wood is biodegradable. So that it could be they have like big wood pillars, and maybe they make like a tent,
Big
like
fire,
dome, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they're like tailgating, but a long time ago.
Maybe this was like the original Colosseum.
And you know what they do?
Like a battle to the
You know
death.
what they do? They do 2 parties a year. Summer solstice,
and winter solstice.
And it's the biggest rager.
And they all like take like acid and like shrooms and shit. It's fucking wild out.
It's like Burning Man.
It's like Burning Man, but it's
back then.
They're like, and they're all fucked up. They're like, we need rocks.
Honestly,
we need huge rocks, baby. Massive rocks.
I feel like we fully solved.
That's what you're leaning to right now.
Burning Man, 3000 BC.
It's like old school Woodstock, some shit.
Pretty cool. I like it.
So there is a recent excavation that happened suggested that these Aubrey holes may have been originally used to erect the bluestone circle, which comes underneath. So maybe like the wood beams that they had in there, they used some sort of pulley system. I don't know. Maybe that was like part of the system in building. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Well, it's because we're
5,000 years ago.
I know.
No, we're gonna get into it later or a little bit because how did they get these 25 tons there?
Exactly.
We'll get into that.
No, but that's what he's saying. Is maybe this is part of the technology that we don't know to get them there or to get them upright. We're not even talking about getting them 16 miles away. We're talking about how do you lift them?
Dude.
It's not going to be rope and me and Jorge.
According to you, that pulley system is what it was used for the pyramids. According to you,
I believe in more of like using the river and
shut the fuck up, Eric.
Eric believes that we use some water, raise tons, a 5-ton brick all the way to the top of the pyramid.
It's just the biggest.
They took a bunch of sandwich baggies filled with air, and they're like, it'll float.
Water's just like one of the biggest forces on Earth.
I know, but you realize rocks aren't buoyant.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, phase 2.
Yeah.
So, the second phase of construction occurred approximately 2900 to 2600 BC. And so, the number of post holes dating to the earlier 3rd millennium BC suggests that some form of timber structure was built within the enclosure during this period, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
So, further, the standing timbers were placed at the northeast entrance, and a parallel alignment of posts ran inwards from the southern entrance. So, the northeast entrance, the big one right here, is the southern entrance. And then the post holes are smaller than the Aubrey holes, being only around 16 inches in diameter and are much less regularly spaced. So we're going to get into these. These are the post holes. You see?
Okay. Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then at least 25 of the Aubrey holes are known to have contained later intrusive cremation burials dating to the 2 centuries after the monument's inception. So literally, I think after the fact, that's when they started putting bodies in that shit. So they originally, I think, were used for actual posts, and then after the fact, 2,000 years later, they're like, burn the bodies.
Right.
That's what I was saying. It's like it started off as like something different.
Yeah. And then way down the line, they're like, burials. Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's some holes there. Let's just use it as a burial.
So it seems that like whatever the hole's initial function, it changed. We just saw it changed from being to become more of like a funerary kind of purpose in that section. So then 30 further cremations were placed in the enclosure's ditch, and then at other points within the monument, mostly in the eastern half of it. Because of this, Stonehenge is pretty much interpreted as functioning as an enclosed cremation cemetery. And it's the earliest known cremation cemetery of the British Isles, for that fact, because of all the cremated bodies. And maybe they had like funeral pyres in the middle, and like they would just fucking light shit up. Because there's a lot of fragments of unburnt bone that have been found in these ditch fills, and especially this ditch fill area. So then we get into phase 3. And phase 3, based on archaeological excavation, indicated that it's around 2600 BC. The builders abandoned the timber in favor of stone. And they dug 2 concentric arrays of holes, which they call the Q&R holes. And then these were in the center of the site. So actually, those are what the Q&R holes are, sorry. And then the holes held up to 80 standing stones. 80. Like, Jesus Christ.
Shit.
And then, so we'll see here. I actually have a different here. So here's a different one. This is technically colored, if it was whatever. So this held up to 80 standing stones in that little area.
You printed it in black and white. Trying to save some money?
Shipping can make or break a sale, so optimize how you ship your orders with ShipStation. They make it easy to automate and manage orders no matter how big your business grows. And they might even be able to help reduce shipping and warehouse costs. So optimize and keep up your momentum for growth with ShipStation. Sign up for your free 60-day trial now at ShipStation.com and use the code POD. That's ShipStation.com with the code POD.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Bro, do you know how expensive colored ink is? It's insanity.
So it's generally accepted that the bluestones were transported by the builders from the Preseli Hills, which is 150 miles away. 150 miles, bro, in modern-day Pembrokeshire in Wales.
So
I said 16. I was wrong.
Yeah.
150.
150 miles to pull how many stones? The big ones.
Well, those thing we're talking about 80 standing stones.
They're 25 tons each.
150 miles.
150 miles.
So those big ones standing up are also 25 tons?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, in the range, 15 to 25.
Yeah, they're fucking massive. I mean? They're massive. Yeah.
The little guys are probably 15.
Yeah, the little babies.
Yeah.
So,
but
how the fuck do you transport that,
dude? I can't
river.
I can't even. There's no fucking river.
No, okay.
Why
I know.
okay.
I'm just saying.
He's like the Nile, bro.
No. There's got to be a river nearby.
Is there?
I don't know. I didn't go that far.
That would explain some shit. Number one. Number two.
But how do you drag? What, do you drag it on a boat? You see some like wood
logs?
ships?
Yeah, some logs, some sort of
Well,
logs.
we get into it. I know because I did the research, but like one of the commonly things is like they were dragged on logs.
Yeah.
But like for 150 miles on logs, bro.
Huckleberry Finn did it.
Dude, imagine this, Eric. Imagine you're like, all right, get the boys, get some logs, and we're gonna drag this 25-ton stone to Jacksonville. Yeah. like, get the fuck out of town, bro. Like, no way. So another theory is that they were brought much nearer to the site as glacial stones by the Irish Sea Glacier, although there's no evidence of a glacier deposits within the southern central England. That's a theory that maybe like a giant glacier was there, and after it melted, the stones were just there. And they were like, "Oh, sick."
No, I don't buy that.
So a 2019 publication announced that evidence of a megalithic quarrying had been found at quarries in Wales, identified as a source of Stonehenge's bluestones, indicating that the bluestone was quarried by a human agency and not transported by a glacier.
What's quarried?
Quarry is like a stone quarry, so it's like in essence like a mine for stone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out. See the river?
Which one?
The one that's right below Stonehenge.
See?
That's not a bad idea. I mean, you're not off.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what
that
could
makes
be.
sense.
No, I'm
right?
gonna get into.
We're trying to make sense.
I'm
of
gonna
this
get
shit.
into it. I'm gonna get into it now.
Sorry, we're jumping.
I'm actually about to get into it.
Yeah, we're jumping again.
So the long distance human transport theory was bolstered in 2011 by the discovery of a megalithic bluestone quarry at Craig Rosy Phelan near Crimmitch, which is in Pembrokeshire, which is the most likely place where some of the stones were obtained.
Okay.
So the stones, which weighed about 2 tons, so these are smaller stones actually. I thought these were the bigger ones. These are actually some of the smaller ones.
2 tons. Okay,
so
it's like a truck.
Yeah,
it's like a truck.
So that's easier.
Okay.
I can believe that.
I can believe that.
So some of the stones, which weighed about 2 tons, could have been moved by lifting and carrying them on rows of poles and rectangular frameworks of poles, as recorded in China, Japan, and India previously.
I'm so glad we're doing this episode because I feel like it's a
lead
transition
into the pyramids.
Because it's a smaller feet of humanity.
Way smaller. Like, dramatically smaller.
Way.
Well,
okay, do you know how many...
stepping stone. Stonehenge stepping
No
stone.
pun intended.
Eric, so we're talking about 80 stones, maybe 150 stones.
Yeah.
There's 2 million stones on the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Totally.
2
and
million.
we haven't even gotten into like
2 million.
how they were also like
and they
precisely constructed and centered against.
And they built it in 20 years. This shit was built over 3,000 years.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck? It took them 3,000 years to build this shit.
It's gonna be a great episode.
God, Jesus Christ!
I'm gonna come hard.
You're gonna come with the.
Oh God! And that's 99. We're all leaving. So
no, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, I'm gonna.
Oh, you're gonna be here?
No.
Okay, I'm trying to fucking backtrack here. Anyways, so it is not known whether the stones were taken directly from the quarries in Salisbury Plain or were the results of a removal of a venerated stone circle, which is a different circle in Priscilli. They stole the stones in essence from a different place, and they kind of merged the two into like one kind of sole thing. One of the theories that maybe they did that in terms of trying to unite two politically separate regions. Okay. Like, hey, we'll take some of your stones, add them with our stones. We're all the same stone. Like we're the fucking legit. So anyways, there was evidence of a 110-meter stone circle at Wan Mound near Priscilli, which could have contained some of the stones from Stonehenge, but they don't really know. So during the phase 3, the activity of 30 enormous sarsen stones were brought to the site. So these are the stones that we know of now. Okay. So they came from a quarry that was 16 miles north of Stonehenge. So I knew how crazy. I swear to God, I was like, I swear to God, it's 16 miles.
Some of the stones were 16 miles. The big ones were.
The
smaller
the
ones
2-ton ones were from
150.
150. So the stones were dressed and fashioned with mortise and tenon joints. So does you know what that means? A mortise and tenon joint connects two pieces of wood or other material. And I actually have a picture here. Here's what.
Okay.
Here's like the tongue and groove and the mortise and tenon joints.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
So like how they built this shit in Iraq is like beyond me. I don't know how they did that. But
it's advanced stone masonry.
Dude, it's really super advanced.
Right?
Yeah.
They were fashioned with these joints before the 30 sarsen stones were erected as a 108-foot diameter circle of standing stones with a ring of 30 lintel stones resting on top. So it's like 30 fucking these stones on top, which are grooved in. So the lintels were fitted to one another using tongue and groove joints, which is another woodworking method. And then each standing stone was around 13 feet high and just under 7 feet wide, each weighing around 25 tons. So these are the big boys. These are the fucking big boys. Yeah, and so I don't know how they move these motherfuckers because these are all 30 fucking 25 tons. That's
a lot of movement.
That's almost 700 tons of rock. That a bunch of bros with like ropes are fucking moving.
It's a big boat.
So, kind of ending remarks on construction and on this whole thing. So, Stonehenge was produced by a culture that had no written records.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they had like, books and they were like, hey, here's how we did it, boys. And like, here's why we did it. Or, here's where the stones came from. Or here was the purpose. There was no records at all. So many aspects of Stonehenge, such as how it was built, why it was built, or like obviously why we're doing this podcast. No one knows. And this is the whole purpose of what the fuck? Like, why is this shit here? So there are obviously a number of myths. The site, specifically like the trilithons, which you can see now if you go there. Yeah. The encompassing horseshoe arrangement of the 5 central trilithons, the heel stone, the embarking avenue, the alignment to the sunset, the winter solstice, the opposing sunrise of the summer solstice, like this whole shit, this is where the speculation comes into play. So there's no direct evidence, obviously, revealing the techniques that they used to construct it. There's been various authors who have suggested either supernatural or anachronistic methods. Anachronistic means it's like an earlier period of time's technology, like methods that are used by
lost technology type shit?
No, it's in essence, anachronistic means a method that's used by previous periods of time. So in essence, it would be, lost technology. They say this, asserting that the stones would be impossible to move otherwise because they're 25 tons each. Right. And then how do you get the 25-ton motherfucker on top? How the fuck do you do that? I can understand.
That's fucking crazy.
I can get behind maybe standing up a
And bringing
25-ton
them
stone.
over there.
Like
Yeah,
standing them up, sure.
Yeah.
But how do you get the 25-ton guy on top of the other 25-ton guys? And how are the two 25-ton guys the same height?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, how are you going to do it like that?
You said something off air, and you're right. I think we don't realize how much lost
technology.
I feel like
exists.
they
And
had some we're not talking about aliens or not.
No, just like
we're just talking
man,
about the ability
mankind.
to do something.
No.
Whether or not they came from aliens, who knows?
I don't
But
know.
you know, the technology just seems to be gone because how did you get it up there?
I mean,
Right.
there is technology that, in terms of moving them, which is like, okay, people can get behind
Like
that.
you can figure it out,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can
The river, the logs.
I can get behind moving them, but setting them up like this, I have a really hard time believing. The most common theory is, in essence, prehistoric people moved them using log tracks.
Yep.
And the large stones were rolled along, and then there's
then
another
pullied up.
There's another
With like a
theory-
ramp. Jorge! Paul! Paul!
Paul! Maxwell!
Why is it got to be you yelling at me?
Listen,
The
Harvey.
racist thing?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to get into that. Anyways, there's another theory that there was a sleigh that was running on a track that was greased with animal fat. Not buying it.
Not liking that.
Not buying it.
Yeah.
But there was an experiment where a sleigh carrying a 40-ton slab of stone was successfully conducted near Stonehenge in 1995. So it took a team of more than 100 workers, and they managed to push and pull a slab along the 18-mile journey from Marlborough Downs.
Okay.
So
how long
hey,
it take? Does it say how long it takes?
nope, they probably left that shit out. It took them 17 years.
Interesting.
So there's other. Here's where we get into other
crazy
potential. I categorize this as potential functions as well as potential theories on how.
Yeah.
So because obviously the function is the main thing. Like people think it's burial site, all this other shit. So proposed functions of the site include astronomical observatory.
Sure.
Maybe it's like you got a good view.
Go look at the stars.
Make out
Stones.
Make out point.
Yeah, make out. It's a rad make out point.
Make out point. Touch it. Touch it. Trust me. Trust me. You want to see the stars, baby?
Trust me.
It's like I'm about to winter solstice you so good.
So outrageous.
Anyways,
It's like that one episode, I forget the guy's name, jerking off in the tree under the stars.
oh my god, yeah. This is fucking
Martha Moxley.
Martha Moxley.
Yeah, but what's the guy's name? The guy's
Skagel.
Skagel. One of the Skagel boys.
Michael Skagel. Michael Skagel.
I think we said jerked off in that episode like 15 to 20
Yeah,
times.
no, 57 times.
Oh,
crazy. Yeah.
To go to Descript and
Jerk.
it's like jerk.
Yeah.
Jerk. So other things I think it's a potential religious site, some sort of religious following.
That kind of makes sense when you think about how it's aligned to the solstice.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, there's a homie named Gerald Hawkins in the 1960s. He described in detail how the site was apparently set to observe the sun and the moon over a recurring 56-year cycle. So maybe it's a long game. Like they're playing the long game on this, but possibly.
They really thought in the future.
Yeah, because they're like, we're
Apparently.
dead.
Yeah.
A 56-year cycle. So it's like one person will never see the cycle. It's always another person.
Literally, I can't think further than next Friday.
I can't think further than like 18 minutes from now than what I'm going to do. More recently, there's two major new theories. There's a guy named Geoffrey Wainwright. He was the president of the Society of Antiquaries of London. And then a guy named Timothy Darville, who's of Bournemouth University. They suggested that Stonehenge was a place of healing. So they argue that that this would account for the high number of burials. Obviously, people are being brought there from different regions to be healed and obviously subsequently die. Terrible healing place. And then, I guess there was evidence of trauma and deformity in some of the graves. So maybe like, you bring and they try to heal them there and then they bury their corpses. So yeah.
They didn't figure out that there was no healing going on after so many others before them.
The reason they're saying this, it's either that or of like some sort of like worship center because they did isotope analysis on the buried remains.
Yeah.
And they were shown to be from other regions and over different periods of time. So there was a teenage boy that was approximately from 1550 BC that they determined was raised near the Mediterranean Sea. There was I don't know how they knew this motherfucker was a metal worker, but a metal worker from 2300 BC.
I mean, all things point to it's a worship spot.
I mean, a worship spot or the healing thing makes sense. Like, why would you bring motherfuckers from all over the place?
In the same vein, you know, it's the same vein.
There's this guy was from the Alpine foothills of Germany. Another one was from Wales of Brittany or France. Like, so like they're coming from other places to this spot. Yeah. So it's either like, this is where like the drug dealer lives, or you know, it's like of worship or of healing. So
aren't there in a lot of religions? Aren't there?
Oh, for sure. You make pilgrimage. You make a pilgrimage.
That's right. So what if
that makes sense.
Thousands of years ago, this is one of those spots that you go to. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I actually, for once, Eric, you make a good point.
For once. I mean,
this is actually it's the fourth time Eric has made a good point.
Like 50 out of 60.
4. More like 4.
Pretty high.
No. On the other hand, Mike Parker Pearson, who we discussed previously, he suggested that Stonehenge was part of like a ritual landscape, whether that be, A, where you bury your dead, or B, it's actually the journey to Stonehenge is actually a rite of ritual passage from life to death. So it's to celebrate past ancestors and they're recently deceased. So it's like kind of like Eric was saying, like you make a pilgrimage there, and this is where you go. You bring your dead homies to the fucking Stonehenge.
And you bring her. You bring her along.
Pour a little liquor out.
That's my dead homies. A little OE on the stones.
40 ounce.
Yeah, fuck yeah, baby.
You know they had those probably. Big
40 ounce.
Yeah.
Kawama.
In Spanish. Oh, nice. I like that. That sounds good. It sounds tits.
Una kawama.
You have to tell me what that means.
It's 40 ounce.
Oh, it is?
They also theorize it could have been built as like a symbol of peace and unity. In essence, conflicting tribes and conflicting peoples, and like this is a place where like, hey, like we can all get along. We can all, drink the ayahuasca tea and like look to the stars, and like we can all be chilling.
Have you talked to anybody who's been there?
Just Sean.
Me.
No, but I mean, like, he didn't get out of the car.
I've been talking to him for the last hour.
A resident expert.
No, I mean, like, who walked up to it.
No.
I don't think anyone's walked up to it recently.
You totally can.
No, you
can
can't.
sneak up there?
Dude, there's a fucking gate and there's guards.
What I'm wondering is if it's awe-inspiring.
I know, right? It would be
Does that
awesome.
make sense?
It'd be awesome
Like,
to go there.
is it just meh? It's a bunch of rocks.
I mean, it's cool.
Or is it? Are you like,
dude? You know what? You know what was
I mean,
more,
even in this picture, it's pretty
crazy.
You know what was more incredible to me, honestly? I wasn't right next to it, but it's Giant's Causeway, bro.
I know. I've been there.
Which
Giant's Causeway in Ireland?
Looks fake.
Dude, I'm like, how are these stones real?
Looks fake.
How are those fucking stones? And they're all like in like hexagon shapes. I'm
Absolutely.
like, how is this possible?
Absolutely.
It's weird. I was like staring at them like, this is fucking not possible.
Jorge, the Giant's Causeway is in Northern Ireland.
It's beautiful, dude. It's amazing.
And there are these bricks.
Stones.
These stones.
But they're like a part of the earth.
They look like they've been shaved and sanded down to be perfect stones. But there's thousands
they're all in the weird. They're all in a weird octagon or hexagon shape, bro.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands.
Googling it.
Now look at this. Look, right here. Like, look
Makes
at
no sense.
I walked on that right there.
Yeah.
I walked on that. And look at the stones. They're all like that, bro.
They're beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that's fucking...
Yeah,
Dude, it's weird.
And if the weather's right, you can see Scotland.
You can see Scotland, yeah. And they call it the Giant's Causeway because they said like giants were throwing rocks.
This is definitely not natural.
Dude, it's weird. But it is natural. It's a weird part. It's so weird.
That looks natural to you?
It doesn't. That's the point.
I was there. I've been there.
I've touched those stones with my fucking hands and feet.
I know. I said it's not natural. You're like,
It's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing. That's why I say that was more awe-inspiring.
But
really.
I was...
Yeah,
Did
it was
you
unbelievable.
did you walk in and you didn't think aliens?
What? When I went to Giant's Causeway?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I was just like, holy shit.
You were just like,
this
oh
is
my God,
fucking
Mother
amazing.
Nature is
I know,
amazing.
we walked. And I walked miles.
See what I mean, Jorge?
okay, all right.
I just don't think, why would aliens
Guess
be
I'm
like,
just better than you
let's
guys.
build some cool rocks.
See, my whole goal is to just turn Sean
over
hundreds of hours. It's going to take hundreds of hours of this.
Literally, if we'll get to episode 200, I'll be like, I'll agree with Eric and we'll never podcast again.
We have reached the end. Goodbye.
Yeah, 99.
That's not natural.
Yeah.
Dude, it's weird, right? It's fucking super
No,
weird.
it's just the water.
No, that's not erosion. Perfect
No.
Perfect erosion.
No, that's 100%.
Causing...
That's literally what it is. Erosion.
Dude,
it's water erosion.
Anyways,
We'll do an episode on that.
So tying in with the healing concept. So in Stonehenge, like the blue stones we just talked about, there's obviously the blue stones and the large sarsen stones. The blue stones are like the 2-ton ones, and sarsen ones are the huge motherfuckers. The blue stones appear to have originated from obviously the Priscilla Hills, which is 140, 160 miles away.
Yeah.
They analyze these stones, and apparently, so these blue stones are pretty cool. They possess an unusual acoustic properties. So, when you strike them, they have a loud clanging noise that happens.
Okay.
So these rocks with acoustic properties come from this area. That's why they're and they're called ringing stones. They call them Welsh ringing stones. Okay. And they actually would use some of these stones as they're bells.
Yeah.
They would use these stones, which is pretty fucking wild. Okay. These acoustic properties could explain why, they were used. And then in certain ancient cultures, they would believe that such stones would have mystic or powers or sort of healing powers because they've made sounds and shit. Oh, shit. So that's why they would hypothesize, maybe they actually believe that because these stones made sounds and they had some sort of healing or spiritual effect to them.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from.
Okay.
So then, this is my personal favorite, actually, and I have a picture to denote this. So in the 12th century historian, in the 12th century Historia Regum Britannia, which is the history of the kings of Britain, so it's by a guy named Geoffrey of Monmouth. It includes a fanciful tale of how Stonehenge was brought from Ireland with the help of the wizard Merlin. So this is a real story. The guy wrote this tale in the book. So according to the tale, the stones of Stonehenge were healing stones, which giants had brought from Africa to Ireland. I don't know how they got there, but that's great. So they had been raised on Mount Killarross to form a stone circle known as the Giant's Ring or the Giant's Round. So the 5th century king Aurelius Ambrosius wished to build a great memorial to the British Celtic nobles slain by the Saxons of Salisbury. So Merlin advised him to use the Giant's Ring to make this monument. Use this, trust me, brother. So the king sent Merlin and Uther Pendragon, who was King Arthur's father, with 15,000 men to bring it from Ireland. They defeated an Irish army led by Gilmanius, but they were unable to move the huge stones. They were too motherfucking big, 25 tizons. With Merlin's help, they transported the stones to Britain, and they re-erected them as they had stood. Mount Killarross may refer to the hill of Usnick. Although the tale is fiction, archaeologist Mike Parker Pearson, who's everywhere, is everywhere. He suggests it may hold a grain of truth, as evidence suggests that Stonehenge blue stones were brought from Wanmon Stone Circle on the Irish sea coast of Wales.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So obviously, this as an aside.
Yeah, I do like the Merlin scenario.
I actually have
Merlin's like, fuck this.
I actually have a picture.
Although we don't even know if Merlin existed. No, so this is, that in itself is a problem.
That's true.
Yeah. This is the oldest known depiction of Stonehenge, and this is from the second quarter of the 14th century.
Second quarter?
That's what they say. A quarter, a century is 100 years, so 250 years.
250 years.
Quarter,
okay,
yeah. So it's a giant helping Merlin build Stonehenge. And I don't know which one of these. I'm assuming this guy's Merlin because of the beard. Because this guy looks like his servant. I don't know. He doesn't look. Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, let's put this little stone on top there, brother." I don't know why the stone on top's like twice the size of the ones on the bottom. What the fuck? Fucking idiots.
Interesting.
So, anyways,
it's a caricature.
Yeah, it's definitely a caricature.
Yeah.
But people think aliens helped with Stonehenge. I just think it's like a terrible use of alien time. Yeah,
put a bunch of rocks.
Let's make trilithons. Fuck yeah. And then there's another interesting one. There's actually two. I want to tell you the first one, and then I'll tell you my personal favorite one.
Okay.
So besides Merlin, I have one that's more my favorite. So there's one that it was a concert hall. I guess it has great acoustics. So people thought maybe they built it as a little concert hall.
Kind of like similar to the Colosseum. The Colosseum has
very acoustic. Yeah, that's why we're like
like moments. Yeah.
Of Carthage, actually,
like the gladiator. Actually, there's a spot in Tampa. Have you been in downtown Tampa? There's a park.
Which one?
It's a little park, and it has a miniature scale of the Colosseum.
Oh, really?
And you could look it up and you could go visit.
Cool.
Go with the fam, right?
Yeah.
But what's interesting is it's the same layout and same everything. And then if you stand in a certain spot, the people at the back can hear you. Weird. And it's a great little
like acoustic
experiment.
Yeah,
it's an acoustic experiment.
That's interesting.
And so you talk and
just like the vibrant.
Yeah. And so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to talk normally, like, "Hey, Jorge, how are you?" And then the person at the 48th seat can hear you.
That's fucking cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's in Tampa. It's a small little place too in Tampa.
I like
it's a
it.
miniature of the Coliseum.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And the best and probably my pick for actual thing it was a team building exercise. I saw that I was like, for 3,000 years? Are you kidding me?
That's exactly.
Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Build teams for generations.
Keep them busy. Busy work. It was busy work, basically.
So fucking crazy. I was like, no way. But they literally thought it was a team building exercise.
So, couple things. Yeah, a couple things. One, something that blew my mind when I was kind of looking into this. The pyramids were built around the same time.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's just like, how are they so much
What do you mean
more
by around the same time?
Well,
a couple hundred, 100,000
What
years?
we've learned here is this took hundreds
This
of
is
years.
like from like 3,500 BC.
Oh, like
to
how long it took to. I thought you meant.
No. The pyramids did not take that long to build.
So the pyramids were built in 2800 BC.
Yeah.
So
this was built in 3100 to like
25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
It's around the same time.
It's at the same time.
But I'm like literally, it's like all they
Yeah.
could do was build like a couple fucking little stone teepees.
So
like the Egyptians built a fucking
let me
pyramid.
bring you back to early Earth. Okay. Go back there and realize that means there's a possibility that there were dudes building this structure at the same time
They were building
as
the pyramids.
in Egypt. They were building a similar mind-blowing structure.
How long did those? How long did those pyramids take?
Unknown.
I thought they said 20 years.
Well, 20 to 50. Yeah.
Not 300 to
Not
500.
well, no, 1,500.
No, this is a different example because we don't know what was built. Like it seems like the outer ring was built.
Well, so
right?
the ditch was built first. This is the outer ditch, and then there was an outer ring of smaller stones, and then another inner ring, and then the very most inner ring is what exists today.
Yeah, and so each one was built at different time periods and with different people. So maybe your ancestors came here to party every summer solstice.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, we should build something.
Yeah, you know what? Get the fucking sticks. Put the sticks in the holes immediately.
Yeah, and then it just kept going. And you're like, well, let's just keep going. I mean, we're here twice a year anyways.
Just keep building on it.
Yeah.
I probably think it's like a giant orgy tent. They built a big orgy, and like the stone slabs were like bedding.
Yeah.
And they have this like,
I got the top bunk.
Yeah, I got the top bunk. Let it rip.
All right, so here we are.
So that's it. I mean, that is Stonehenge. Like I said, it's more of a history lesson, honestly. It's not really. You know, I think the conspiracy would really be behind it is what's its purpose? And I think maybe it's like the true purpose was probably lost in time. I think someone probably had an idea like, you know what? We're going to do this as some sort of like religious, astrological, you know.
We don't like using the word occultist, but would it?
No, I would
think
that
be similar?
I think that would factor.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like there was a design here. They built it in a certain way on purpose.
Yeah.
It wasn't like on accident that they had this shit facing a certain direction. It wasn't like a random act.
Yeah,
like they did it on purpose.
Yeah, but to figure that out, that direction, I don't feel like it would be. It's not like out of this world type shit, like the pyramids.
No, it does. No, the pyramids,
right?
100% aliens.
So here's
this
the
is
thing.
not aliens.
No,
this is not aliens.
So you guys are
you know what? Like before we started this, I thought aliens. Before we
Stonehenge?
Yeah.
Really?
But I changed my mind.
Wow.
I know. I hate to admit that for Eric.
I like
and you know why I hate to admit it? Because if I feel
it's a stepping stone to the pyramid episode. I've been building it up for hundreds of hours. And all I'm trying to do is give you the information leading up to it.
Eric has spent years. It's like Eric's like erosion. I mean, I've been eroding at Jorge and Sean's principles.
We're not joking years, actually. Yeah.
You know what? Like
literal years.
If I feel that this was 100% all man-made, human, and how did they get a 25-ton stone up there?
That doesn't make sense.
I feel like that gives you an edge for the pyramid episode. So
the pyramids also, it's like, you know, they got a 25-ton stone like 13 feet in the air. The pyramids, they got fucking 25-ton stones 100 feet in the air.
I know, but like if
Yeah,
you,
but
I'm trying to help it. Somehow I'm helping Eric here, but if you can
No,
figure
you're
out
not.
how to get it up 10 feet,
No.
you can figure out 300 feet.
Exponentially different. Exponentially different.
But you know, I don't know.
Exponential.
I don't know.
That's true. You're right.
It's
You're right.
exponential. It's like saying like I can fly like if I jump off the ground I'm flying instead of like 20,000 feet in the air.
Although I don't know how they built the skyscrapers in Dubai. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, it's
Cranes?
called technology.
No, I know. You don't know.
Yes, I do. I
No, we
can't tell
don't.
you exactly how.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Eric, then that means we
We're
know
not
nothing.
fucking
We don't know.
engineers
That's what I'm
and, like,
saying.
Eric, how'd they make that glass bottle, Eric? Why don't you tell me exactly?
No idea.
Exactly.
We don't know. That's the crazy part. Actually, it's a great thing, which is I don't know how my fucking phone works.
Dude, that's my point. Like
the cell phone? Yeah, it's so crazy.
Dude,
huh?
I was,
Right?
I was
Like, we don't
These
know.
chips in the fucking cell phone.
We don't know.
Dude, I was telling Eric earlier, I was like, dude, I'm getting super behind this lost technology thing because it's so easy to believe. Like, imagine there was like a giant event or some like solar fucking wind thing from the sun, and like we lost all technology for like 100 years.
Yeah.
100%.
Like we'd be fucked. We'd be back to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Like, no, who can build a computer? Who's gonna be like, oh, I know how to like make a fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, no, we'd be fucking. It would be lost.
Yeah.
And then we'd restart, and we'd be like, ooh, let's build rock.
Yeah.
Let's build rock to the sun.
Although we have
figured out how to build a wheel.
I know. Like,
Again.
what the fuck is this shit? Like, trust me, if you do this, I can lever something. I can pick up something that's way heavier than I can pick up.
like imagine there was a cataclysmic event that wiped out not everybody, but 90%, 90 to 95%.
Oh, dude, restart.
And then generations go by. So you're the 5%. We're the 5% who lived.
Oh, after about 4 generations, no one knows what happened to the fucking
especially because the great example is the phone. Let's just say the phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's
How do you
no
rebuild
communication.
that?
There's no communication.
Let's say all the we survived. None of us know how to build the
Yeah,
phone.
not even a clue.
Not
Or
even remotely close.
Anyways, yeah.
I can't even tell you like a general concept.
So then now go 5 to 6 generations ahead of that, and we didn't know, and so we lost it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know how to make fucking bread.
You don't even have to go
It's like,
that,
I can't
like,
even make bread, bro.
Don't even
I
go
have
that.
no idea how to make a fucking phone.
So true.
I'm like, like we used the last of the ramen. We're fucked.
So the only things that survive are the people who survive.
It's like the only thing I can make is a fire.
But you don't even have to go so like extreme. Imagine we just lost the power. All United States,
Electricity?
or even like let's just say everywhere in the world. Yeah, electricity.
Oh, dude.
No electricity, no
The-
power.
the-
So
once
no
the-
internet, no phones, no computers, no
I wouldn't
nothing,
know how to
no
do it.
refrigeration.
I wouldn't know.
Dude, in one generation, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because once let's say the global infrastructure folded.
Yeah.
After one generation, you've lost all the people. You've lost 50% of the people who knew how to even make it happen in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can go online and like Googling.
Right.
How the fuck do I like set up?
ChatGPT, help me.
I know.
ChatGPT.
So we bring it back to this, and we don't know how they transported this stuff. We don't know what it was for. It does seem, and this is my theory on it, they lived and died by the seasons. They lived and died by farming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They lived and died by whether or not it was going to be a rough winter, or if it was going to be a fruitful summer.
Yeah, bountiful.
Or, yes.
Yeah.
And so I would fucking celebrate this summer solstice.
100%. You're like,
so they
we
built
would
this
be
whole-
like, we got hella
fucking
crops!
We're going to get some grains.
Or it's like in the winter,
You know?
like it's gonna suck. You're like, fucking wash away
I
our
know,
worries,
yes.
bro.
Why?
Booze.
Why not do that at home? Why would you transport 25
what do you
tons?
mean?
You gotta be with your
No.
homies, bro.
You
You're
gotta
gonna be with your
think
homies.
it's a celebratory thing.
Jorge, imagine.
Over 1,500 years, they planned this.
No, but Jorge, imagine like it's like.
No.
Like, imagine.
No, Eric.
Imagine. in terms of Eric's support, weirdly, imagine it's like this. Imagine like we live, we're 2,000 years in the past, and we all live where we live currently. It would take me like a 6-hour horse ride to get to your house. I'm not gonna be going over there to chill.
He would write you a letter.
I would wait. Like I'm like, okay, summer solstice is coming, dude. Planning the party. Meet me at the rocks.
Huge.
It's like, where do you got to know where to meet up
I'm
at?
actually
meet me
super
at the
behind that.
rocks,
I'm
bro.
super behind that,
And like
yeah.
twice a year, we fucking gallop on up and we like let it rip for like a week.
Not to get all serious.
Why wouldn't they just build a fucking
hold
barn?
on.
Like, why does it have to be
Hold on.
25 tons?
That's a good point. point. That is a good point.
Not to get all serious, let's say us three celebrated at the Rocks for 20 years. Yeah? 20 years. I die.
Yeah.
Bury his ass there. Burn his shit. Yeah. Bury his ass at the Rocks, bro.
That's right.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Maybe
and then it became a memorial and like a spot, and it became like a spiritual spot.
Maybe homie was right with his piece.
No, because they started the burials before the stones were even there.
No, that's technically true. Yeah. No, so maybe it lends credence to like the peace and unity thing they were saying. Like you got homies from different tribes, and they're like, you know what? Like, they meet up. Like,
the neutral ground.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, that's like no. Yeah, can't be killing motherfuckers on this ground.
You have the talking stick now.
It's like, pass it on. Yeah. Just all drink mead.
So I'm gonna tell you. I think it was I was leading towards that. I do think it was a celebratory spot. And not a ritual, because I don't like the connotation with rituals.
Yeah, ritual means there's some sort of like...
Yeah, but I mean like a nice ritual, like a good one.
Like a tradition.
A traditional...
Like the Freemason one.
Yeah, a little bit. But no, like a tradition.
Still waiting for Aaron to get his acceptance letter.
No. Like nowadays, we have traditions with, like in America, you have a barbecue on the 4th of July.
Or you have like your birthday.
Yeah.
That's a tradition.
It's a tradition. Okay. But this just happened to be a rad spot that we would go to.
Okay.
Yeah, travel
for the winter solstice and the summer solstice.
Okay. 2 parties a year.
And it's two things that at that time was important to everyone.
Yeah. But then eventually it turned into a burial site, and then eventually it got a little weird.
I think it got weird. I think it started burning motherfuckers.
It doesn't make any sense though, because the winter and summer solstice you can't see until the big stones were there. So before that, you weren't using it to go there and meet up for the solstice.
No.
Maybe it happened later.
When it was first, the way it was originally formed, it was formed in this way to face. It was all from the beginning. Yeah. It was all about the winter and summer solstice.
Oh, so these entrances?
No, yeah, the entrances
are the ones that
in the ditches. Yeah, it faces that. Like this entrance right here, like this.
So they knew that from the start.
Yeah, you see that arrow that faces out that main entrance? That is.
So maybe they did plan it from the
get-go.
That's what I'm saying.
They're like, from the jump street, like they had like an idea.
They were like, this is going to take us... Maybe they thought it was going to take like 100 years, but ended up being like 1,500.
Maybe, fuck this. Maybe it's a Stargate.
I know, true.
Stargate.
No, but we were talking about it off air, which was that people in different generations build upon the previous generations, and it has nothing to do with what they did.
Right.
Meaning
they just kind of like go in a different direction.
Yeah, it seems like there are different levels of this.
Yeah.
Different.
Started off as like a farm crop circle.
Right.
Then it turned into like a winter solstice party circle.
What do you think the purpose was, and how do you think they got it there?
The purpose, I actually still don't fucking know. If I had to guess something, then I would also go with the whole winter solstice, like
summer
astronomy, tied to the gods, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And how did they get it there? Again, I hate to admit it, but
ingenuity.
No, like logs in the river and like
they just figured it out. They just made it happen.
Yeah. I think you could. I mean, you could do a lot with some rolling logs, dude.
And 1,000 people.
Exactly. And some like bunch of horses and donkeys
in 1,500 years. No
problem. Totally. Yeah,
no fucking problem.
That's true. I could probably move. I could probably move a big rock from here to Miami in 150 years.
I moved the rock 6 inches, babe.
No, it's like bury me. Just fucking burn my corpse and bury me.
So where are you at?
I think it's. I don't know, dude. I think it started off as like being more of a religious type feel. Yeah. And I think it metamorphosized over the years to be like more of like a, get the various clans together for like a fucking big fucking bash. Yeah. big bash of the stones.
And I mean, we have evidence that shows that people were buried. So at some generation, they were like, this is a cemetery.
Yeah. And then I think, maybe after
one generation.
They're just like, fuck it, put the bodies there.
Yeah.
Some sort of like
Jorge would have loved this spot.
Why?
No, I'm just saying if he died and it would be like, let's bury him here.
Oh,
I would,
okay.
Because
I
he
would
loved
definitely
this
say
spot.
there.
Yeah, like he
How
loved.
about, all right, I will bury you at Stonehenge for you.
No,
I
I'm
will
just
sneak
saying,
on the
say-
grounds. I will
say
dump
he
your
visited-
ashes.
Cremate me and
Say-
just dump it in the ditch.
All I'm saying is say he visited there for 20 years, twice a year, and then he passed, and then we were like, hey, this is where he would want to be buried.
Dude, imagine if we actually put like his urn there, like etched in, like metal, like fucking stainless steel. It's like, here lies Jorge, the President Rodriguez. And in like 4,000 years, they're like, well, pretty sure Stonehenge was a Mexican refuge. the president was buried there.
Aztecs owned this.
I know, Aztecs. They migrated. I don't know what the fuck they got here, but other side of the fucking
Some
planet.
Aztec conspiracy, how they took over England.
Well, the Aztecs owned England before the English did. It's like,
True. Probably would happen.
oh my god, that'd be
All right.
hilarious.
That's all we got tonight, guys.
Oh man. So yeah, glad you joined us. I know it was more of a history lesson than anything, but
No, it was great.
trying to make it fun for you.
Let's put up a poll and see if
I
you guys
know.
think it's aliens. Do you guys think it's burial? Do you guys think
It's like religious, or do you think it's
Just
like
a party town.
party? Yeah, you think it's
Yeah.
Burning Man?
Yeah.
So we're gonna put this up in
Burning Man, BC.
Spotify. Go check that out. Might as well put it up on
We'll put it up
Instagram.
on Instagram too.
Yeah,
We'll put it on
on
Instagram.
Instagram.
If you guys don't follow us yet, go check us out on Instagram. A Conspiracy Podcast. Wait,
Yep.
or is
That's
it the
It's A. On,
A Conspiracy Podcast
on Instagram, it's A.
on
It's-
Instagram?
I know it's
weird.
fucking confusing.
I know.
Damn it. Just fucking search us.
But as always, all our love to the Patreon guys. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do so. It does keep the podcast going. We're kind of like a PBS station, so
Yes, this is
every
it.
dollar counts, and it's very important.
If you've been listening to us and you haven't left a review,
Oh yeah,
Do it. Leave us a
hook us
review.
up.
reviews,
Hook
yeah.
us up.
It better be
Go
good.
to Spotify. Go to Apple.
Or we'll get the Discord fucking army to fucking ruin it.
Yeah, that's right. We'll catch you next time.
Night and night.